In this video, we'll be hunting a box of nickels. We'll be looking for anything before 1960, including war nickels, buffaloes, or anything older. We'll also be looking for any foreigns, proofs, heirs or varieties, or any other cool things we can find. And we do have one ender in this box, and it's right here. It's a nickel from 1942. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. Don't think it's silver, but still, that's a good ender. And let's start the hunt, and I'll bring you in when we have our first find. Roll 2, and we have our first find, and it's from the 50s. It's a 1954 from Philly. Roll number 8 had a couple more older Jeffersons. First, we got our first one from the 40s, a 1947 from Denver. Then we have another 50s, a 1953 out of Denver as well. Roll 15, and we have a couple more nickels from the 50s, and they are a pair of 1958 Denvers. Roll 20, and we have a nickel from 1942. Some of these are silver and some of these aren't, and this one is unfortunately not silver, and it's out of Philly. Roll 22, and we have a couple more older Jeffersons. First, we have a 1946 out of Philly, and we also have a 1952 Denver. Roll 24, and we have another nickel from 1952, but this one's from San Francisco. Roll 26, and we have a 1957 nickel, and this one is minted in Denver. Next roll, and we have another nickel from the 40s. This one is a 1946 Denver. Roll 28, and there's this super beat up coin in the roll, so I pulled it out. It actually turns out to be from the 40s, and I'm pretty sure it's a 1948 out of Philly. Roll 30 was our 1942 ender, and it had one more older Jefferson. The ender is a 1942 out of Philly, not silver, in pretty decent shape besides the ring of death on the front. And then it came with a 1957 out of Denver. Next roll, roll 31, and we have another nickel from 1946, and this one's from Denver. Roll 33, another nickel from the 50s. This one is a 1959 Denver. Roll 43, and we have a couple more nickels from the 50s. The first is a 1954 from Denver in decent shape. Then we have another 1959 that's also from Denver. Next roll, and we have yet another nickel from 1954, but this one's out of San Francisco. Roll 45, and we have a couple more older nickels. First is our new oldest of the box, a 1941 out of Philly. Then we have yet another 1954 from Denver. Roll 47, another nickel from the 50s. This one is a 1952 out of San Francisco. Roll 49, and we have another nickel from the 50s. This one is a 1957 from Philly. Roll 50, and the box actually ended on a high note. Got a couple finds in the last row, and one's pretty good. First, we have our new oldest of the box, a 1940 out of Philly. And then we got a 1949 from San Francisco, which is actually a semi-key date and probably the best find of the box so far. Now let's go on to the wrap-up. Nickel box has been hunted, so let's go over the finds. We ended up getting 16 S-mints. Unfortunately, no foreigns or miscellaneous finds or 2009s or anything. Did get this pretty gross 2000 with some pretty dirty tape on it. And then this one that I thought was a 1948 earlier, not too sure what the date is. It could be a 1940 or 1946, but what the date is a mystery. It's just too damaged. And then for older Jeffersons, we did pretty good. Got a pretty good amount, including a couple better condition ones. And then, unfortunately, we didn't get any silvers or buffaloes, so the find of the box is in that last roll. We got that 1949 San Francisco semi-key date. Even though we didn't get any amazing finds, this was still a fun hunt.